Nutgrass, absolute orcs of the garden. Most folks spend their weekend digging this up and throwing it in the green bin. Basically, throwing away all the deep earth minerals that your veggies are starving for. Stop throwing away your soil wealth. Dig them up, nuts and all, and drown them. We don't need to buy synthetic plant food in the Shire. We brew it. Today is the Alchemist's Guide to turning your worst weed into liquid gold.
Gather round, friends, we got tales to twirl. In the heart of the Shire, we're saving the world.
To give our nutgrass some real wizardry power, we're going to mix an enemy with an ally, Comfrey.
Throw in some of that crispy dead grass from your yard for carbon and layer in the Comfrey. This plant is a dynamic accumulator. Its deep tap roots pulls up massive amounts of potassium, calcium and iron. Throw it all straight into the bucket.
It hasn't properly rained here in southeast Queensland in my little shire for about 4 months, so we're going to have to be smart. We put in the hard yakka to gather whatever green wealth we can find, rather than draining our own soil bank accounts. Fill it with water, weigh it down and slap the lid on it. The water drowns the nutgrass tubers so they can never sprout again. Then we just leave it in the sun for about 3 to 4 weeks. Now this is one I prepared earlier, and yes, it smells like a stone troll's armpit. All the material that I've put in here is broken down and all the deep mine minerals has released into the water. It's incredibly potent. Now you must dilute this down to a colour that's like a weak tea. 1 part brew to 10 parts water. Do this before you drench your garden beds. But when you do it, your veggies will absolutely explode with growth. Our second brew comes from the underground miners. If you haven't got a worm farm yet, make it your next weekend project. You feed them your kitchen scraps and they produce the finest, most microbe-rich elixir in Middle Earth. Now, this is actually worm leachate, but most people call it worm tea. Unlike the weed brew, which is packed with raw minerals, this liquid is teeming with living microbiology. When you pour this onto your soil, you're sending an army of microscopic rangers into your dirt to fight off disease and to build a healthy soil web. Dilute it until it looks like a wheat cuppa and water it just over the roots. Now I know what you're typing in the comments right now. Gazza, what do I do with the stinky sludge that's left in the bottom of my bucket after all the liquid's gone?
If this was just comfrey or standard grass, I would dig a trench under a fruit tree and bury it as a slow release sponge. But we are dealing with nutgrass. These little tubers are the ultimate survival pods. 4 weeks in the cauldron will rot the leaves, but these nuts can sometimes survive the brew, especially in cooler weather. If you bury the sludge under your citrus tree, you might just be planting a fresh army of orcs right in your orchard.
Now the sludge I showed you prior had no nutgrass in it. It was basically comfrey and stinging nettle, so all perfectly fine just to go straight into the ground. We don't take risks with nutgrass. So, you can strain it out of your sludge if you want, it's very smelly, and then put it onto a hot concrete pad and bake it, which is a lot of work. Or you can just strain it out and throw it into your council bin, and they have to handle it. Strain and keep your liquid gold. But we show no mercy to the nuts. Or, as Sam said to Frodo at Mount Doom, throw it in the fire. Cover it up well with soil and mulch so you don't attract the pests. That leftover plant mass now acts as a slow release nutrient sponge deep under the soil. It'll be holding the moisture and feeding this tree for months to come. Nothing goes to waste. This is the magic of the closed loop system. We dig up our enemy, we brew them, and we feed them straight back to the soil. We give the worms our scraps, and they feed our future harvests. It takes a little bit of hard work, but this is how you build a resilient shire patch that completely sustains itself. Well, I'm off to wash my hands and get rid of the smell of this weed brew and make myself a really good cup of tea. But if you're going to make your own liquid gold this weekend, hit that subscribe button and join the Rangers. Until next time, may your gardens be green and your buckets stinky. Cheers. Hold up, fellowship. Before you wander off into the wild, just one quick thing. If you want to look the part while you're out there battling the orcs in the garden, well then, the Gazza the Green Permaculture shop is officially open over on TeePublic. We've got the Speak Friend and Garden gear, along with some wizardly designs to keep you looking proper while you're out there doing the hard yakka. And here's the best part, I'm not hoarding the gold like a dragon under a mountain. Every single copper raised from the merch goes straight back into the Shire. It buys the new fruit trees, funds the perennial bed, and keeps that permaculture dream growing. So if you want to support the channel and snag yourself some brilliant gear, click the link below in the description.